you right now. So Miss Erica, can you come on up?
All right.
Hey guys, my name is Erica Wright. I had a cheat sheet somewhere, I can't find it, so I'm just going to kind of go on a whim. Thank you guys so much for being here, the You First team. I have a few more volunteers that's coming. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Erica Wright. I am the founder of You First Incorporated. I'm going to try to shorten my story up just a little bit because I know we have some work to do. I founded You First about 5 years ago in my brokenness. Suffer from depression, bipolar, anxiety. And I had gotten out of a bad relationship and I found myself home, 45 years old, in my mom's back room, and I'm like, okay, God, I know you have more for me than this. And so I went to sleep August the 7th, 2014. I woke up in a dream, not a dream, but I started writing like Paul. And I didn't know what it was, but it was You First. It was highways, byways, helping people, so on and so forth. So I went to church the next Sunday, and I talked about my purpose in church in Sunday school. And two ladies that I didn't know, I had been in church for 3 years, didn't know them, they didn't know me, they brought a cart with everything that you see now. And so that's how I got started. So I made the boxes of hygiene items and took them to the food pantry and the clothing closet at the church. But I noticed that they weren't moving. And so I said, okay. And so I put them in little bags. And the first person I met on the street, they call him Chucky. And I got out, I gave him a bag, and I heard the story. And that's it. I've been doing this now for 5 years. So after that, I started bringing in friends that I knew. We got together, we went out to what was known then as Cortland and Pine, which was one of the largest shelters in Atlanta. And we set up tables, we would serve food, clothing, shoes. And so I started really eye-to-eye contact with the homeless community. I started listening to women, children, men, and their stories. And then I realized that I was a hypocrite. I used to drive in my car, going to my job, making my good money, dressing really nice, and saying, why don't he go to the job? He looks able-bodied. Until I understood, because it happens to me. And I slept in my office for a whole year. And all while I was sleeping in my office, I was sleeping in work. So there's some gaps between there, but you gotta read the book when it comes out. But a part of that journey, I lost my health insurance, I lost relationships, people didn't know what was going on with me, and I didn't know what was going on. But God was using me because I was better now equipped to serve people that was me. And so the last 5 years, it's been amazing. So to be here today, I'm just gonna give you a little snippet of some things that we've done with Delta. So how I got to be in the Delta family, I met this guy named Billy Reynolds about 3 years ago. We used to go out and I say serve the homeless, not open your trunk up and just give somebody something. So have OCD, so I'm very particular about things. So we would put the tablecloths out and have everything sectioned out. So I use this company called Network for Good. So it goes to all the databases, different companies, different corporations. So Billy comes out there, he has his Delta uniform on, he's packing bags. And he said, Erica, how do you get all this stuff to the park? I said, in my Honda Civic. He said, I can use the Delta box truck. I said, cool, let's do it. So we've been married now for 3 years. So I think he works in tech. And so now what Billy does is, if he knows somebody, he said, okay, so he'll say, let me introduce you to this person. And he said, hey, I met David Jenkins a couple of years ago. So he said, Eric, I got flight attendants coming to Atlanta. We got to do a community service. What can we do? I said, we can feed some people. So we fed 5,000 homeless people. We did sack lunches, peanut butter jelly sandwiches. We did hygiene kits. And then after that, people started saying from a different group, what was the next group we did? I think I worked with you, Mr. Austin.
Yeah,
So
engagement
with you. And we did 2,700 kits. And from there, Austin came downstairs and he was like, this is amazing, this is good. He said, we're gonna go international. I said, well, how does that look? He said, we have a project coming up, a fit day coming up in Paris, let's go. So we had an opportunity to go to Paris and we did 1,000 bags in Paris about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Right. So from there, it has been, one group to the next group. But I looked at it last night. With working with Delta, we have distributed over 10,000 bags with you guys. So that's a little bit of the story. So what we do, once a month, we put together about 2,000 of our love bags. So can you grab one? I think there's one in the back. So you guys have blessed us a little bit more. So the bags look different depending on our inventory. We do not receive any federal grants. How I really started this thing is using social media. And so I've been blessed to be able to say, okay, Miss Joe gave me 10 bars of soap, I'll place it, take a picture, put it on Facebook, and it just went viral. It went contagious. And now it's taking legs a little bit farther than what I'm able to keep up with, but it's a blessing. So our simple bags are just a toothbrush, washcloth, and a bar of soap and toothpaste. We do 2,000 of those bags a month on our own. So this right here is a blessing for us to be able to help more people. So what we started finding when we started doing the work is that shelters that we serve don't always get what they need because of funding and grants. So, for instance, Gateway, they house over, I'll just say maybe 300 or 400 people, but they open their doors up every day for men, women, and children to come in and shower. So we donate 300 bags a day. That's not even touching what they do on a daily basis. So every month, once we get together on the second Saturday of the month, we meet at the Adamsville Recreation Center. We put the bags together. Then Billy comes with the truck, and we disperse them to shelters all over Atlanta. And so through doing the work, I'm learning really what homelessness looks like. It's not just with the person with a sign on the street. So last year, we received Toys from Tots, and had a couple of volunteers who couldn't connect with me to get the families. We adopted 25 families from Family Children's Services. So I ended up Christmas Eve on Fulton Industrial by myself in my Honda Civic with toys, and I'm calling parents, and they're like, I'm like, where do you live? And then she's like, I'm from Fulton Industrial. I'm like, but where? At the extended stay. So even though people are getting vouchers, there's not enough housing. So you have families living in extended stays with no refrigerators, no stoves. And so I ended up taking toys over there, and it hit me. Children are going to school every day without some of the simple basic needs. So this year was our pilot program. We opened up 4 hygiene care closets in 4 APS schools. So we have Harper Archer, Douglas High School, Heritage Academy, and Dunbar Elementary. Dunbar Elementary is one of our babies. And I am going to really come to Delta and ask you guys to help us support this school. They have 139 children who are homeless. Because of where it sits, the homeless children have to come from a shelter to go to school. And so these teachers and facilitators, they're over there spending their own money to put together just simple snack bags. So when the holiday comes, that they won't go back to the shelter without having something to eat. So this weekend, we're doing a toy drive, we're doing snack bags for the school. But in that closet, we want to extend it. We want to put washer dryers in there. We want to be able to have people to come and help with uniforms. I met a young kid last week, and I asked, can I just go buy him a shirt? Because I've been here 2 days, and he has had the same shirt on. I was told that the parent was on drugs, and she has 6 children at that school. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to sell that shirt. So what I would like to propose is that we have this closet filled with uniforms and shoes and socks. And then even if we have to change that child's shirt before he go home, when he comes back, he can sit in that classroom and have dignity with the rest of the children. Because when we start talking about homelessness, we're talking about the effect that it has even from a small age without being educated. We're talking about foster kids who we go and service these bags to, who we like to give them a separate bag because they don't have a sense of their own belonging, because they live in a group home with other children. These kids are getting ready to foster out, they'll be adults, and 9 times out of 10, they will end up homeless. We're talking about maybe some of your counterparts who you sit in a cubicle next to in this society that we live in, who go and sleep in their car when they get off work. But these bags make a difference, because even for me, when I slept in my office, I didn't want anybody to know. So I would run in the bathroom in the morning and clean up, move my car, and come back and say, hey, good morning, how are you guys doing? So it's all about dignity. So what you guys are doing today is making an impact. I'm gonna show you a small video so you guys can kind of have a visual. There's a lot of videos on here, but if you have a chance to follow us on Facebook, it's You First. And last year, let me tell you this quick little piece. Last year, everybody thinks I'm crazy, but it's okay because when God gives me something, I just go with it. I don't worry about it. So last year we drove from Atlanta to California. It was 4 of us. And then we drove from Atlanta to New York City. It was 2 of us. We did, 3 of us, I'm sorry. We did 85,000 hygiene kits last year. We were featured on People to People. But what it taught us on the journey was that we need to get back to humanity. Like, people exist even where they are, and we have to love them where they are. So when we started doing the work, you know, we, of course, in warmer climates, you see a lot more of the homelessness. Skid Row is like a whole nother third world country. People have been living on Skid Row for like years and years and years. And so what I'm learning, I'm writing a book because what I'm learning is homeless in America, we're gonna have a true epidemic if we don't get a hold on it at some point. And a lot of times I like to be the voice, but you know, when you start talking about politics and this and that and this and that, you have to be careful. But at the end of the day, it takes people like us, boots on the ground, organizations who are doing the work, to be able to come to the table and say, this is what we see. And it's not always easy for somebody to stand and make a decision for somebody else's life who haven't even had a glimpse at it. So I'm gonna show you this real quick video, and we'll put some bags in. Where my technician at?